Hi YouTube, welcome to the first video in a series of videos that I'm going to be doing in the lead up to the world's toughest mudder. I just thought I'd do this video series for a couple of reasons. First of all, I think it's cool to kind of share your journey with other people, and I've got my brother living over in Germany, so it's a little bit hard for him obviously to see what I'm doing and how I'm preparing and everything like that, so he'll be able to log on and check those videos out. And also, there seems to be a good little community forming of people participating at the world's toughest mudder, various people putting up training videos, that kind of thing. So I just thought I'd document my journey so that my family can kind of keep pace with what I'm doing, especially once I get to America, and also, so you guys maybe get some tips out of it, or at least can follow me along the way as well. So in today's video, I just thought I'd do a very quick intro, talk a little bit about me and how I qualified for the world's toughest mudder. Tough Mudder is essentially what got me started in fitness. Before Tough Mudder, I essentially was your weekend warrior. I played soccer, went to the gym, on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, but wasn't really interested or overly interested in fitness. I saw Tough Mudder advertised about 7 or 8 months ago now, and that really started my journey. So first of all, I started going to the gym 5 times a week and following a more structured program, and I also took up running. I recognized obviously that no matter how strong you are in terms of upper body strength or leg strength or whatever it is, if you can't run the 20Ks or slightly shorter distance for some courses, you're just not you're not going to be super competitive. So Tough Mudder is what got it started, and along the way I did a few other events. I did one in Australia here called the Tough Bloke Challenge. It was just a 7K course. That was back in the end of June, started July, and that really gave me a good introduction and allowed me to kind of gauge where I was in terms of my fitness and how my preparation was going for Tough Mudder. That was coming up in September. The September one was the first one held in Sydney, Australia, and the only other event held so far in Australia was in Melbourne in March. So, as I progressed, I also did a couple of running races just on the road. I did one called the City to Surf, which is a pretty big race here in Australia. It's about 70,000 people take part, and they run from the city, the CBD, to Bondi Beach. And I also did another one which is called the Pub to Pub. Both of those events are around, the City to Surf is 14K and the Pub to Pub was 13. So time went on, and obviously September came around and it was time for me to take part in my first Tough Mudder event. So I got there pretty early because I had secured an early start wave, which was really good. I really think if you're going to go for a time, from what I've read and from my personal experience and seeing what happened out on the course, you really need to be running in one of the first waves, if not the first wave. So I got in the first wave, which was 8 AM. Started out pretty well actually. I typically tend to go out too hard in races. Every single time, whether it was a Tough Bloke Challenge or the running races, I always go out too hard. I kind of hit a little bit of a wall, and then I need to pull myself back, and then towards the back end of the course, I can pick up again. And I was wary of that, and it's something that I've obviously been working on a lot. Anyway, with Tough Mudder, I by the first corner, I kind of found myself out in front, and I was a little bit scared that I was going out too hard again. But luckily, shortly after, I was joined by a guy called Trevor, and a small bunch of about 9 other people, or about 8 other people. I think including me, there was about 9 of us. So we stuck together for the first 2 obstacles, which was the first Kiss of Mud and also Arctic Enigma. After that, we kind of went across a natural water obstacle and commenced kind of the first major trail run section of the course. That was probably, 1.5 to 3 kilometers. It's a bit hard to gauge. This was some time back, but yeah, it was a fair decent run. And in that run section, Trevor and 2 other guys, they split off of our group of 9 and charged forward. And I stuck with the other 6, and as soon as the incline started, our group of 6 also split into 3. I was in the first group of that 3 with 2 guys who were actually in the Navy. So we were coming 4th, 5th and 6th respectively, and we continued on the course together. We actually did catch up to the first group on 2 obstacles. The first one was the second Kiss of Mud, and we also saw them at Carry Your Wood or Hold Your Wood. Probably had a chance to catch them on Kiss of Mud if we pushed a little bit harder, but it was fairly early on in the course, and I think even by that stage we were just focused on doing the best possible time rather than trying to go for a place, because if you burn yourself too early in one of these events, well, it's going to come back and bite you on the ass at the second half of the course. So yeah, it was a really good event. I stuck with those 2 guys all the way through the course. So from about the 3rd or 4th obstacle, by the time we'd formed our group of 3, or right through all the way until the last electroshock, and we were together, across the line in tied 4th. Me and one of the other guys were sprinting for the line. A little bit hard to obviously tell who kind of crossed, because you're both running and they don't have photo finishes and everything like that. Anyway, I finished the course in 2 hours and 7 minutes. The guy who won by comparison happened to do it in 1 hour and 52 minutes. And Trevor, I think he came 2nd or 3rd. He did it pretty much just smack bang on the 2 hours. So that kind of front group, they certainly put the hammer down in the second half of the course and got a little bit of a bigger break on us than what they had when we saw them at those other 2 obstacles. I also did it on the Sunday, which was supposedly, from what I've read and from a couple of people who did it on both days, a lot harder, especially with the mud mile. The mud in the mud mile was just insane. It was crazy. It was so thick, and it literally, I don't know how long it took us to get through it, but it was tough. The guys who did it on the Saturday said, yeah, they did it, it's a bit hard to obviously put a time on it, but they reckon 10 to 15 minutes easily quicker on the Saturday, just because you can get through those mud obstacles a little bit quicker. I'm not too sure about that. I didn't really care. I was really happy with how I went, especially seeing as I'd only been kind of doing this for about 7 or 8, back then it was probably, about 6 months at the time. And I guess I secretly harboured this desire to qualify for the world's toughest mudder, but I didn't know if it was achievable or not. And once I came 4th, obviously I felt a little bit more positive about it, and I submitted my time and kind of didn't really think about it. I guess in my mind as well, I was thinking that 2013 would be the better year to focus on. It would give me another year's worth of training, and I could build up to being able to cover, a distance I think if you take the winner last year, I think he covered about 90 kilometres once you obviously add up the number of laps he did and times it by the distance of each lap. So obviously that requires a fair bit of training, and that was kind of in my thought process, let's wait until 2013. Anyway, that email came through from Tough Mudder. Congratulations, you have qualified. And that kind of changed everything. Within about 3 or 4 hours, I'd gone from thinking, oh yeah, I'll wait until next year, to, yeah, I'm going. So that was pretty much 5 or 6 weeks out from the event, 5.5 weeks out from the event, that I found out. So it was really kind of crazy how quick everything started happening. Most people who are going have probably had at least 3 to 6 months to prepare. They would have done courses earlier in the year, and obviously in America they're holding them all the time, so it's a lot easier to qualify earlier in the year. So basically it was just a massive a bit of a wake-up call, and a bit of a shock. I've got to work out everything that I need, equipment, and the list just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and yeah, it was pretty crazy. So that's kind of the journey up until now, guys. I'm going to be doing videos on my equipment and kind of what I've done since then, but I just wanted to put this up as a bit of an introduction to who I am, how I qualified, everything like that. I do have a blog which I've been writing about all the obstacle races and the running races that I've been doing. That's www.adventurelete.com, so I suggest you check that out if you're interested. I'll also put a link to an article that I wrote about my journey to qualify to the world's toughest mudder. I'll put that in the description box down below. basically just expands on what I've said, how I went from someone who was just that weekend warrior to wanting to compete and having the goal of going to the world's toughest mudder. And you know, if you're interested in following my journey, you can also jump on Facebook and see me there. It's just www.facebook.com/Adventurelete. Again, I'll put a link in the description box below. And of course, you can subscribe to my video series here as well. Also, any comments, feedback, anything like that. If you're going to World's Toughest Mudder, if you've done a tough mudder, if you're interested in going to World's Toughest Mudder one day, just comment below. I'll try and respond to every single comment that comes across my desk. So thanks again, guys, and if you haven't got an orange headband yet, head to a Tough Mudder event and do it. It is awesome, and you won't regret it. Talk soon, guys, and stay tuned for more videos shortly.